We came together and we added up all our debts, and basically it rounded up to what up, Wealthy fam?
We're back with another video. My name is Mike.
I'm Rachelle, and if you're new here, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and hit the bell so you're notified every time we post a video.
Listen, we're gonna need you to share, like, leave comments down below.
So if you guys seen our last video, you would have seen that we reached $2,000 for our baby step number 1. If you guys haven't seen that video, go ahead and watch that video before you watch this video.
We completed baby step number 1, and baby step number 1 is to put money aside, $1,000 or whatever you feel comfortable with as you start demolishing debt. So we had something that came up. Our alternator blew out on our car. Instead of panicking, we went right inside of our emergency relief fund and we paid that money, which it came up to about $700, which usually most people don't have that type of money laying around because most of us don't have emergency relief funds. So I just thank God for baby step number 1, and we was ready and was prepared for when something happened. Now, when you use money out of baby step number 1, which you should save $1,000, when you use money out of that, the moment that you use that money, you go back and replenish that money. Because that money has to be replenished as you begin to kill debt. So that's why we encourage you guys to get baby step number 1 done first, because things will happen. We call those the things of life. Your alternator will go out, your tire will blow out. For you guys who own homes, the sink might get a leak in it, and you're plowing and you're trying to get rid of your debt. So make sure you have your emergency relief fund baby step number 1 completed, so you will have no distractions.
And it really felt good to have that money in the account. There was literally no panicking, no heartache. It was just like, okay, pay the money and we'll get it back to where it needs to be. Alright guys, so let's talk about baby step number 2. We have currently been working on baby step number 2, and if you don't know, like I said before, go check out some of our old videos. But just for the sake of time, baby step number 2 is demolishing all your debt with the debt snowball method.
The debt snowball is basically taking your smallest debt, paying it off, and then working your way down. So if you have like small credit cards or something, $200, you just pay it off. Then you go from the smallest to the biggest. And
tell them why, boo. Tell them why.
Why? Because when you begin to pay off your smaller debts, you get a sense of you're winning, like
accomplishment.
The sense of accomplishment. Because if you try to tackle a car or a huge furniture bill, you know, you like, oh, I'm struggling. So you take the smallest debt and begin to pay it off, and then you go down, and that's why they call it the debt snowball, smallest to biggest.
So guys, we added up all our debt, and that is something that you guys are going to have to do before you start the journey, after baby step 1, so you know what you're working with. And don't get afraid of your numbers, because you're going to take it step by step and you're going to break it down and you're going to get through it.
Go find all debts that you have, whether it's your furniture bill, whether it's your car loan, whether it's your student loans. Get all of these debts and things that you're actually, even credit cards for some of you guys, things that you're actually making payments on, and then add it all together. And then sit down with your mate, or if you're single, you know, sit down and reflect on that, and then see what you're gonna begin to pay on smallest debt to the biggest debt. Go from smallest to largest, and remember, paying off the smallest debts give you a sense of accomplishment. Yes,
it motivates you. Yeah, so we came together and we added up all our debts, and basically it rounded up to $23,000. That's pretty small compared to a lot of people. If you listen to Dave Ramsey, you hear different people call in and there are different amounts of debt. And we are lucky enough to have just $23,000.
Well, we're not lucky, we're blessed.
We're blessed enough to have only $23,000.
Amen. But it's still a challenge, because remember, guys, we're working with one income, a side hustle. We thank God that it's not that much, but yet it's still a challenge with one income. So we talked about side hustles in other videos. Go back and watch and check them out. So, but it's not that much, but yet it still has to be done.
The first thing we did was pay off our $1,000 loan that we had, and that was our smallest debt.
Right, and that was awesome. So the next thing we have a vehicle. We have a 2017 Toyota Corolla, and it was $12,000. What we owed after 3 years of making payments.
Right.
I mean, making payments. I don't like making payments, but 3 years of making payments, we finally got the vehicle down to $12,000.
Yeah.
So we had $12,000 left to pay on the car.
Yeah.
And we was plowing down, you know, side hustling, and God was making ways as well to plow down on his debt, because we're in the debt snowball. So we did the small debt. So the car was next. So we plowed down on it. So we went from 12,000. We put so much work on it, like take everything and just throw it at it, like go gazelle mode.
Yeah.
What is it?
Gazelle intense.
Gazelle intense, like focus, tunnel vision, like we don't see nothing else. So we begin to plow money on that on our vehicle, and now we're down to $3,800, from $12,000 to $3,800, because we gotta get rid of what's ever taking our money. I feel like I say that a lot, but we went from $12,000 to now we at $3,800, and it feels pretty good because we're almost there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we lied a little bit though. That wasn't our next smallest debt, but that was the debt that was taking a lot of our money. Let's talk about that.
Right, let's talk about that. So the car was not the next smallest. Am I saying that right? The next small debt.
Yeah.
Actually, it was her student loan that we could have took out first, but because the student loan is such a small payment each month, we said don't worry about it. But our car payment was taking the most amount of money out of our pocket every month, meaning we couldn't do anything.
To the point where it breaks your heart.
Yeah, it was very sad. So think about, after we get rid of this car payment, that money that we was paying out every month, now we can start loading that money into our savings account. We can start loading that money into our emergency relief fund.
I'm about to shout.
But remember, we cannot forget to go back and tackle her student loan, which is mine, because we won. So after we pay off the car, we got more income coming. Our motto is we are in a place where we're trying to give ourselves a raise. So, but if you got payments going out, if you're paying on everything, then you'll never see your money, and then you'll always be without. You cannot begin to go into a place where you're gonna start living your best life. So, 12,000 on the car we owe. Now we're down to 3,100, and we're not done.
Yes. So that brings me to the point of goal setting, because during this journey, you're going to want to set goals, realistic goals. You're going to want to sit down, if you have a spouse, or hey, if you're single, and actually write out a goal, a plan. See how much you're bringing in and how much you cut back, how much you have now, and start a plan. Write it down, post it up somewhere that you can see, so that you can achieve these goals and not give up. And watch the numbers drop. Like, for example, of course, you hit the smallest debt, but now let's just say we're on to the car, which was $12,000. We enjoyed watching the numbers decrease every single time we would check to see where we are now and how much we have left to pay.
It's all about what you're willing to sacrifice in order to start paying off this debt.
Yeah.
Don't lose focus, and within you keeping focus, also take it to another level of sacrifice. Push back that plate, cut back bills. That's a whole nother subject, but it's all about sacrifice.
The more you sacrifice, the more you'll be able to pay off, the faster you'll be finished. The least you're able to sacrifice, it's okay. You can do the journey however you want to do the journey. Everyone's not the same. It's just the least that you want to sacrifice. It's just going to take a little longer, but it's okay. Continue to do the journey how you want to do the journey. It'll just take a little longer.
Hey y'all, stay encouraged. While you working your debt snowball, while you knocking the smallest debt down to the biggest, stay focused, stay encouraged. It's going to get hard. So many distractions happen as we begin to work our debt snowball. You know, car transmission, alternators blew out, different type of things happen. Just distraction after distraction, but you can't lose focus. That's why it's important. I'll say this again. That's why it's important to start tackling the smallest debts first. Get a sense of accomplishment so you can get a momentum, because as you're accomplishing everything, you gain the momentum. So while you're doing that, stay focused. Don't let nothing take you or detour you from doing what you got to do. because the debt snowball takes a lot of monitoring, planning, meetings. So when you're a married couple, it kind of it's better that way because you have your mate that's help pushing you. You may not have that. You may be single, so you may have to watch YouTube or just watch Dave Ramsey on YouTube, or people who are budgeting, who are trying to get out of debt. There's so many different outlets when it comes to being focused. For us, we encourage each other. We try to have weekly meetings. We always try to pay attention to the numbers because we want to see where we're at. But also another note is too, guys, as we're focusing on getting out of debt. Getting out of debt has nothing to do with math, right? We look at our debt. Remember, we just told you guys we were like over $20,000 in debt, right? But it's never about math, right? Math is a small thing. It's probably 10% math, but 90% behavior. Because if you don't learn how to change your behavior, or paying off your debt, or sacrificing, or go and get another job, or get rid of that T-Mobile and get a Metro. Here in Florida, we got Metro PCS, so that's a cheaper phone bill. Or, cut back eating out. So your behavior has to change in order for the debt snowball to take place, or even work for some of us. Some of us have great income, so it doesn't take much to tackle debt. But some of us don't have large incomes.
Right, and some people, like we mentioned before, you might not try to do it as intense gazelle as someone else. So the key would be like, if you eat out, let's just say 7 days a week, maybe cut down to 3 days a week. That would save you more than before.
Habits.
Different, just change up your habits. You could do you could change it up in smaller amounts versus just everything, because you have to baby step yourself into things you're not used to.
Listen, let's do it. I'm so motivated. I want you to be as motivated as us, but it's going to take sacrifice. It's going to take for you to be focused. That's why we encourage you. Be encouraged as you do what you're doing, as you're trying to get out of debt, as you work the baby step number 2, as you work this debt snowball. Things are going to happen, but don't lose hope.
Yeah, $3,800. I cannot wait to demolish this.
That's just the car. And we'll move on to the next thing. Then we'll move on to the next thing. Next thing you know, only thing we're going to be paying is just rent, utilities. All the other money is going into the savings account. All the other money is preparing us to get ready to buy the house. All the other money is getting ready for us after we buy the house to pay the house off in 7 years. That's a whole nother video though.
Thank you guys for watching this video. We loved everyone that called us and told us how much these videos have been helping y'all. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the messages.
It blows my mind that people really they want to be in this journey. I know we're closing out, but people really want to get out of that. There's a lot of young couples that get in contact with me and my wife, because this journey is not easy. But we have a plan. So we just want to thank you guys for joining us. Following us on this journey. Remember, journey to wealth. We gonna do it. We in here.
We'll see y'all in the next video.